Good morning. You are watching the TMI Show with Ted Rall and Manila Chan. Good morning, Manila. Do you see me?
I do not see you on screen. I can hear you. I only see the TMI Show hold screen, and I didn't see the
Streamed. I think
countdown.
I'm taking care of that. No, let's see. I don't know. Here, let me put Robbie in here. Robbie, do you see me?
Nope, just the splashboard.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I think what's
Yeah, we didn't
happening.
see the
Oh, there it is.
countdown.
Fixed.
Yeah, it's
Fixed.
that element.
Yeah, here we go.
We
Okay,
didn't see the countdown either.
you see me
You have
now,
the
right?
right opening. Yeah, I see you now. You have the right opening, though, right, Ted? I gave that all to you
I
before.
do. Did you? So do you never? So you didn't see the? Yeah, I know what happened. Okay, so I can
Yeah, I
explain
didn't
this
see
later.
the
All right, let's
clock
start the
count.
show. Let's
All
start the
right.
show.
Rumble
All right.
Studio is held together with duct tape, prayers, and a lot of spit. So that's part of it.
Are you okay?
Okay, just got up. Yeah, everyone can see us now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is day 2 of my return, and, and Ted running the new Rumble studio. It is Tuesday, June the 2nd. Ted, we're halfway through the year. I am Manila Chan. That's Ted Rall. You're tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short. And as somebody suggested yesterday, it was really funny. The I should be in reference to Robbie as inbred.
Or I thought you were going to say Rob E.
But why would you be
Really
inbred?
leaning into the Southern thing.
Sure.
But why would you be inbred? Because that's a Southern thing. I mean, you Asians, y'all have family trees. Like y'all actually.
No, that's why they were suggesting that, because they were like, it's not the TMR show, it's the TMI show, and so the I could just stand for inbred.
Yeah, that was John Cockefeller. That he said that's where I fit into the show. Which,
that was pretty funny.
to be fair, is fair.
It's pretty clever. Pretty
Yeah,
clever.
John Cockefeller just confirmed. He says, "No, I am the inbred." So thank you, John,
clever
for that. I can always look for. Oh, and happy birthday to Ray. On the
Happy
Rumble chat.
birthday, Ray.
Hey, Ray, happy birthday.
Ray is our Rumble Room Santa Claus, always gifting out free TMI memberships to, I don't know how that works, but he just makes it rain on people. So we appreciate that. And that's really nice of him on his birthday. So yeah, if you guys are new to the show, we do this live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the share, and the subscribe button. And last night was another rough night with baby Ted. So if I'm a little extra insane, that's why.
All right, duly noted.
So there we go. A lot of stories to get to in the 1 hour.
True.
You got it. Did you?
By the way, Robbie
get the
and I
Jaws?
used to only do 3.
Because you
Just
talked
saying.
longer on the topics.
Yeah, because we're like, yeah, exactly. So yeah, you wanted. Yeah, you remember we did the Jaws yesterday.
I know, but you did. It was like a loop of the Jaws.
Well, no, I think it's fixed now. Here, look.
Okay, let's. There you go. I bequeathed the Jaws to Ted, and he got it. All right. So lots of stories. First one, the ChatGPT murders. That's
Okay,
something people should be talking about.
They should.
So, Ted and I like to talk about AI on the show. We use AI. Like, I'm not going to pretend like we don't. We use AI. We're not looking up murders or like how to build bombs or anything.
Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, I don't know what Ted's doing, but I'm not. I'm not looking up like how to murder people or anything on ChatGPT. But GPT is apparently
I wouldn't
a fan.
trust ChatGPT. They would give me bad murder advice. I check
Probably. GPT is apparently a fan of murder, and Florida is putting that to the test. So for years, tech companies have enjoyed a familiar excuse. Whenever their products cause trouble, they just say, we're a platform. And Florida is testing that theory. The state has become the first in the nation to sue OpenAI and the CEO, Sam Altman, alleging the company ignored safety warnings and unleashed a product that contributed to multiple deaths, including a mass shooting and suicides linked to people's interactions with ChatGPT. The lawsuit accuses OpenAI of prioritizing growth, market dominance, and investor enthusiasm over public safety. Florida Attorney General James Utmeyer claims OpenAI knowingly released a dangerous product while downplaying risk to users, particularly children and what they call vulnerable individuals. The complaint points to several high-profile cases in which GPT allegedly encouraged or facilitated harmful behavior. I'm not sure how. Maybe they have the upgraded GPT, Ted, if like GPT is like facilitating like with arms and supplying the, you know, tools to
Could be.
murder. Like I don't have that level of GPT. OpenAI, unsurprisingly, disagrees. The company says GPT is not responsible for crimes committed by users and points to existing safety measures designed to prevent harmful interactions. It has previously argued that users who commit violent acts received information that could be found elsewhere and were not directed toward violence by the chatbot. The bigger story may be what comes next. For 2 decades, social media companies have largely avoided liability for what its users do on their platforms. That's Section 230. Florida is effectively asking whether AI companies deserve the same protection or whether a chatbot that actively converses, advises, and persuades should be treated differently. Silicon Valley has spent years asking whether AI can think. A Florida courtroom may soon decide whether it can be blamed. I'm of two minds on this, Ted. Like, one, I don't like Section 230, period. I think the big Silicon Valley giants, the tech giants, have gotten away with too much for too long. And I think we saw the first domino fall with that lawsuit in Los Angeles, the girl that was suing Facebook and YouTube. That was the first domino to fall, I think, before Section 230, I think, gets repealed. But that said, Section 230 is the law, and social media companies are considered platforms. I'm not sure if GPT is a platform. That's the thing. Like, you're not openly communicating with other humans, other individuals on it, like the Rumble room.
No, it does not apply. It is not it's not like a social media company or a telecom. Yeah. It doesn't, you literally don't communicate yet. I'm sure they'll change that. But you don't communicate with other people. It's literally,
that's the distinction, right?
Yeah, that's the distinction. Yeah, I mean, the Section 230 justification and explanation is that, like, the best example is I make an obscene phone call over Verizon. Is it Verizon's fault? Did they have any way of knowing or stopping me or before I did it? No. They're just providing lines, right? And if people misuse them to do bad, nefarious things, well, then, that's on the people who do it. But that's not true about ChatGPT. I mean, I think, look, one thing that's worth noting is the cause here. All of these chatbots are kind of encouraged to be encouraging. They're programmed to be encouraging. Like, if you ask it like, oh, should I eat poisonous mushrooms in order to lose weight? It'll say, no, you should not eat poisonous mushrooms because they're very toxic, and tell you all the reasons. But then it'll say, but good for you for wanting to lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle. And here's some good things you could do. And, you're on the right track. Good luck, right? So it's very boosterish is the way that it's programmed. And that's led to problems because people have dumb ideas, and those dumb ideas shouldn't always be encouraged. So, for example, ChatGPT has encouraged, like, hi, I'd like to kill myself. Oh, how would I do that? Well, you could do this, you could do that. And it's
and
like,
how lovely that you want to end it all.
Not kill yourself. Life is precious. We need you and love you, right? I mean, so the point is that it's programming, and programming is always going to make mistakes. Like that assumption that,
Wait, is Sam Altman American or is he Canadian?
I think he might be from Kanadistan.
Because in his country, if he is indeed Canadian, the government promotes self-harm and suicide.
He's from Chicago.
Okay. Well, I was going to say if he was Canadian, then the Canadians, as we know, will help you kill yourself. The state will help you kill you yourself.
A lot of countries will, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Canadians are big fans of self-offing. So
That's right. That's true.
So okay, so
And
that's
then you can sell your organs.
Well,
wait.
you
How can you
can't
do
really
that?
sell your organs,
Dead.
but they can sell your organs.
Yeah, because you're dead.
The
But
state.
they'll help you off yourself, and then they'll harvest your organs. Canada is one of the most ghoulish, evil countries on the planet. If seriously, President Trump, I know you're listening. Since you're all war hockey now, let's liberate Canada from the Canadian government because
But I
they
want them to
desperately need it.
liberate us from our healthcare system.
Well,
Their healthcare.
them killing
Can
you
we have
is not healthcare.
an invasion that goes both directions? I mean, there's been wars like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the war of northern aggression that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would
It was a
work.
mutual invasion.
But okay, wait. We got to stay on topic because this is about tech. And look, I'm generally speaking of the opinion that for the same reason, if a guy plows into a 4th of July crowd with his Chevy Tahoe, Chevy is not responsible. If a guy
Agreed.
goes and mows down, people at the grocery store with Smith and Wesson, or name any gun manufacturer, is it Smith and Wesson's fault?
No.
It's the user's fault. So I would say, I hate to be too friendly to Sam Altman because I do think there's a lot of evils with the technology that he's developing, but I don't think at the end of the day that he should be responsible or GPT itself, because it's like it's a user beware type of thing. How can you blame, it's as much as like Mac or iPhone facilitates planning terrorism.
Right, but in this case, I mean, you are talking about like someone goes to a bot, let's say ChatGPT, and it you could easily see, let's say you had a loved one who was a victim in a mass shooting, and it came to light that the shooter obtained information about how to bypass security, for example, from ChatGPT. You'd say, "What the fuck? Why
but you
the
can
fuck
Google
is
that.
this available?" Well, okay, and similarly, I guess and I would say if that you could definitely sue. Let's say someone has a website that tells you how to bypass security at a school.
Sure.
Okay, well there's legal exposure there for that website. It's no different.
I would say like the information you get from GPT is not exclusive to GPT or any other, or Claude or whatever, right? It's not exclusive to them. It's not like they're providing, like if they're telling you how to mix special Kool-Aid to achieve the end.
Mm-hmm.
You can find that in a lot of places. You can go to the local library and find a book on how to.
And look, there's a really great Supreme Court case in the late 1970s, early 1980s. I think it was late 70s. The Progressive magazine, the liberal magazine, published information about how to build a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb, in its pages. And this went all the way to the Supreme Court. Ultimately, the magazine won, but for the simple reason that this information was available in the public sphere before they published it. And now, granted, you'd have to go to like an academic journal or in some dusty archive somewhere to get it. But the point is, they weren't publishing something that had never been available forever. But let's say they did. And let's say someone used that information and blew up a town. I mean, look, the Progressive would have had legal exposure there. I mean, it's like, the fact is, or there's also the Anarchist Cookbook, right, which also faced censorship for publishing bomb-making materials, publishing how to make bombs. Making bombs is actually not very hard, but the point is that, like, it was viewed as a public safety threat. I think that's the exposure here, right? It's a public safety threat. And there's something specific about the intimate nature of a chatbot where it talks to you like it's your friend. Like, "Hey, Manila, good to hear from you. So glad you're going to go and do this terrible dastardly crime. Let me help you do that."
Well,
I
here's
mean, you could see
the
how that's a
mode of
problem.
communication, or the mode or tone of communication, I don't think changes the fact that, like to maybe in the Rumble chat, she says, I mean, a chemistry textbook should be banned at that point.
well
Yeah,
more.
maybe.
Same thing.
Well, more than just that. Say, for example, if I decided to open up a channel on Rumble, doing reviews on different kind of guns, the best caliber for hunting, showing how to field strip, how to maintain, how to use them, and then someone say buys the SKS, like my little friend over here, and decides to go start shooting up people. But by your definition, Ted, I could be sued for that. So explain that to me. Where do you draw the line?
First of all,
Because
anyone can be sued for anything. The question is whether they can prevail.
Well, here's the whole point, though, is that the power that you're putting out there, the power that you'd be willing to give these people, will one day be used against people who don't deserve it.
Listen, I was the subject of a lawsuit. I'm not going to get into the details. It was early in my career. I did a cartoon, and a person committed suicide and cited my cartoon in their suicide. I'm not going to go into it more than that. I was blamed by certain people in saying, like, my life de-affirming cartoon prompted this dude to kill himself. First of all, it wasn't specific. It was more like an existential life sucks cartoon of the kind that were very common around that period in the alternative press.
Well, you are a Gen Xer that is kind of...
Yeah, I wear black all the time. I mean, it's our thing.
That's the tone.
Listening to Jesus and Mary Jane. It's not my fault. Bauhaus. It's like, hey, I have all the Cure albums. It's not my fault. But the thing is, Pink Floyd's been sued because "Comfortably Numb" was the most commonly played song at suicides. There's like a lot of
soundtracks for their
offing. It's your last time on Earth. You should have some music on the way out, right?
Oh my God.
Anyway, the point is that, like, that can. I understand the problem here. I'm not saying that ChatGPT should lose this case, but I definitely think that it's not an open and shut case. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's not simple, but I think ultimately, and I hate cheering for him, but I think that's where my principles are, is that, like I said, for the same way a car manufacturer is not responsible for, unless, if somebody's deliberately driving into a crowd, that's not to say that I didn't report on General Motors with the key ignition switch issue that was killing people. Yes. Yep. If it was something faulty, sure, sue General Motors, sue Ford, sue Honda, sue whatever, if it's faulty. That's not the issue here. Or I guess somebody could argue that, Ted. Somebody could argue that it's a faulty switch, if you will, in OpenAI's technology. I guess you could argue that, if insufficient guardrails. But at the end of the day, I actually think that it's the end user. You do with it what you will, whether it's a car. I mean, you can kill people with a coffee kettle, right? Like, you can kill people with anything. You can kill yourself with a coffee pot.
And under certain circumstances, the manufacturer can face liability. Right? I mean, if you make a faulty tea kettle,
faulty, yes,
that's your fault.
Faulty, yes. But if I'm taking the coffee pot and going around and smacking people in the head with it, like a metal one, and killing people, murdering people with my coffee pot, with my big steel coffee pot, because those are heavy. I have a heavy one like that. If I go around my neighborhood and just bonking people across the head and they die,
that's going to be, first of all, a very strange story that we will be covering on the TMI Show.
Black & Decker is not in trouble.
Well, no, and they should. Let's put it this way: they might be in trouble, but they shouldn't be, right?
Right. So I feel the same for OpenAI. I don't think.
But come on, the OpenAI thing is far more complicated. I mean, it's like, if people are being facilitated. Okay, here's another example. Since we talk about suicide, there was remember that case a few years ago where I think 18-year-old girl encouraged her depressed male friend to commit suicide.
Her boyfriend.
And it's like, and he's like, I hate my life. And she's like, you're right, you should kill yourself. And he did. And she went to prison.
I know.
And
which I don't think she should have.
I mean, certainly she had a free speech
She's a
defense.
bitch.
She's clearly a bitch.
What an asshole she is. But
totally, yeah. But she took advantage of a weak-minded person at a very.
I think she was an Asian girl, wasn't she? A little Asian girl.
Yeah, that's how they are. But like, but yeah, I mean, so I could argue that either way. But I guess my point here is, if your product or your person is deeply implicated in the commission of a very serious crime, I mean, it ain't simple.
I don't remember when I set up my GPT account if I had to sign. I'm sure I did. I must have signed a terms of service, a TOS agreement, and I'm sure somewhere buried in there has to be language that says we're not responsible for a bad recipe, that you copy a bad recipe from us, or how to murder people.
That's like the release that you sign before you go on the school field trip. Like, if I fall off the waterfall, it's not my fault. Yeah. But if you fall off the waterfall, your parents are going to sue the teacher who was, who was off getting at Wendy's while you were falling off, right? And the school is going to end up paying. I mean, that's just the truth.
Well, I think that's slightly different than like a user of a product, and a tech product specifically. And I think this would fall in line with, you can't sue General Motors because your family member, your loved one was mowed down by some lunatic that decided to crash into a Christmas parade. Like, you just can't sue General Motors.
Yeah, but that is different because you don't have General Motors. Like, it's the analogy would be like, you tune up your car, you turn on your car, and you say, and it's a e-car, and you say, hey, e-car, I'd like to run over a bunch of people at a Mardi Gras parade. And then it's like, do not worry, I will guide you to the Mardi Gras parade. It is 6.2 miles. Turn right at the next intersection. If it does that, okay, that's what ChatGPT is doing. Right?
I don't know. I guess it's case by case. All right, it's case by case. But this will be an interesting one for sure.
It's not going to be like, it's not open and shut. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The jaws.
Oh my God! What the fuck is wrong with me? I'll never get over the jaws. Okay.
You New Yorkers.
Just when New Yorkers thought they'd seen everything, surveillance cameras began capturing groups of dudes emerging from sewer manholes in Brooklyn, like a low-budget reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I quote Chud. You remember Chud? You must remember Chud. Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers.
Oh, I thought the name sounded familiar.
Classic 1986 movie, takes place in Soho,
back
when the Soho section of New York City was not a high-priced art mall, but was a grim, bleak hellscape of post-industrial hellscape of abandoned soon-to-be loft buildings for billionaires. Anyway, okay. So police are investigating several incidents in which people entered the city's sewer system late at night and then resurfaced hours later, leaving behind a citywide game of what the fuck were they doing down there? Authorities initially had no explanation. Theories ranged from urban explorers, that would be my theory, to burglars, to something involving social media. More recently, investigators concluded the people may have been scavenging for valuables lost in the city's vast sewer network, a surprisingly real and extremely yucky hobby in some parts of the world. Just weeks ago, a woman died after falling into an open manhole in Manhattan. She was parking her car in Midtown, and she opened up the door and stepped right into the void and fell like 22 feet to her death and boiled to death.
Wait, what do you mean boiled?
What?
Boiled?
Yeah,
she boiled?
Yeah, it was all full of steaming hot water and steam. So basically the skin like all fall. She died from being cooked
No.
alive.
No, I thought the fall itself killed her.
Well, I'm sure she wasn't in good shape after the fall, but yeah, she died from the boiling.
It's hot. You guys have
That's been
steaming hot
confirmed.
shit in there? Shit water?
Yeah, we have hot shit water down there. Well, these are hot water pipes that run they're steam pipes. If you ever you've been to New York in the winter, you
Yeah.
know how you see
You see the yeah.
steam rising out.
Yeah.
So
And
there's steam.
Detroit has that too. Is that what that
There'd
is?
be steam pipes all over the city. Yeah.
Oh, and
They're for heating, right? They're for heating.
But how does she fucking boil? Oh my God, that's more gruesome than I even imagined.
Yeah, it's really fucking bleak. Anyway, the last thing nervous New Yorkers wanted to see after this incident was videos of people voluntarily dipping down underground through the same holes. Officials emphasized that entering the sewer system is illegal and extremely dangerous due to toxic gases. Yeah, not to mention methane, right? Like if you, even if you have if you smoke, like if you vape, or if you, maybe not vaping, but if you light a cigarette or even just static electricity, you can blow up a block, including your own ass. Flooding risks, unstable surfaces, and other hazards. No arrests have been announced so far. The investigation goes on. Probably treasure hunting is the thing.
Oh my God.
I was going to guess urban explorer. A lot of people. I've
close.
done urban exploring in the city's subway system, and in its abandoned rail tunnels.
Subway. Yeah.
Like where the mole people used to live.
Yeah.
Under Riverside Park back in the 1980s. So I gotta say that is not a place, as a mostly lifelong New Yorker, that anyone should really ever want to go. It is not a pleasant place. Going into the subway, like walking the tracks, is very dangerous and not safe. But this is even less safe than that. Let me tell you a subway story. So, I was with my old roommate Chris at a business holiday party. We both worked at a Wall Street company, Bear Stearns, and it was at Lincoln Center
that little place
in the '60s. And we were anyway. So we lived at 110th Street. We got on the number 1 subway at Lincoln Center, waiting for the train. Chris, being impetuous and impulsive, was tired of waiting for the train, and he's like, "Fuck this! I'm like walking to 72nd Street to take the express train and not waiting for the local." I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He hops down to the tracks and disappears into the tunnel in his business attire. I'm like, "Holy shit!" So I was like, but it's late. I'm thinking, okay, maybe the train's not coming for a while. But a couple of minutes after he's gone, the train comes. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Looking back on it, I was very drunk. I probably should have pulled the emergency brake, but I didn't do that. So anyway, at the time, you could look out the front of the train to the tracks. And so I ran up to the first car, dropped the window. I was like, I want to see, right? I'm just curious. And so the train, it's a curve. The train's curving, and it's curving and curving. I don't know Chris. I'm like, maybe he made it to 72nd Street.
Oh my God.
And then I'm thinking, hopefully he'll have the smarts to lean up against the side of the wall and let the train go by, because there's these little
You didn't see any blood spatter on the way.
There's these little divots where the track workers are supposed to do that, right?
Yeah.
But they're not everywhere, and there's places where they can't do it. And it's it's not well lit. There are light bulbs, but it's not well lit. So anyway, and it's gross down there. Anyway, finally we come around the corner. I see the station ahead, and I see Chris running in front of the train, and then jumps up to the platform just maybe just in time, in the nick of time. And he gets on the train. And he was very happy with himself. Idiot.
But he got there the same time that you got there.
Yeah. And I told you he was impetuous, and also did a lot of drugs and was very drunk.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm from the West Coast, and we don't have those types of underground stories,
Oh, no, that's not true at all. You guys have the Las Vegas, I know it's not quite the West Coast, but you guys have the Las Vegas sewer system.
I don't know
And
anything about Las Vegas.
Las
I'm
Vegas
in
has
Los Angeles.
storm sewers that are an extremely sophisticated network. And
Really?
families live down there because there's
I've
massive
heard of
amounts
that.
of homelessness. And
I've
like
heard of
people
the homeless
die all the
people.
time because there's flash floods in Vegas because of
Oh, is
because it's
there
flash
really?
floods. It's the desert, right? How do you die in the desert? Heat or drowning.
Right.
And so a storm can happen like over the horizon. You don't even see it. It's a clear, hot, sunny day. Next thing you know, you've got a fucking wall of water coming towards you. So
I've heard of that though, that they have like big sewer systems and that there are like crackheads and stuff that live
that's
in
right.
them.
That's right.
And like they have like whole setups, and some of them have managed to run electricity down there or whatever.
Yeah.
So we have our homeless right out in the open, Ted, in the sunshine of the beautiful, mild
I think Los
sunshine of
Angeles also
SoCal.
has not as big, but they also have a pretty extensive sewer system where some people live.
But only in downtown LA, because that was like the original part of the
Well,
city.
you guys have the LA River,
Otherwise, it's wide
immortalized in
open.
many movies, most notably Them and Repo Man.
Yeah, we have like our sewer system is wide open. So
Yeah.
and I've gone in there. I mean, not for very long, but like I grew up near in the San Gabriel Valley, which is where Whittier is, and the San Gabriel River bed has largely been dry since the 80s. So by the time I was in high school, we've all been in there, like you go down, there's trails on the side of it, but you can go down into the bed. And you've seen in movies, right, where people are like racing in the San Gabriel riverbed, like literally in like, I don't know, I wouldn't say Fast and the Furious, but I guess they presume it's safe because it's been dry for 20 plus years because of the drought.
Right.
But I heard if you follow the open riverbed far enough, you'll get to tunnels, and that's where I wouldn't do that. Like, gross. Like, why? It's shit water.
It's so gross. So gross.
It's shit water.
Did you ever see Chud, the movie?
Yeah, I remember when you brought that up, because right now the only Chud I'm thinking about is the guy the racist dude on, I think he's on Instagram or Twitter. I think he's on Twitter. He shot somebody shot him, then he shot somebody.
As one does.
It's just what you do.
Yeah, Chud is a term now.
Yeah, he goes by the name Chud. That's immediately what I thought of.
It's also a Chud, I think, is now a right winger or a racist right winger or something.
That's him.
Yeah,
it's that term because of this guy.
So in Chud, just for people who have not seen this cinematic masterpiece, what happens is that the city of New York has supposedly been dumping toxins down into the sewer system for years, causing the people who live down in the sewers to mutate into cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. And the way they manifest is they come up through your toilet while you're
like the rats in New York City.
Exactly. And while you're using the loo, they come up there and grab you and eat you.
Wait,
or pull you down and eat you. I can't remember the order of things there.
But how does a person fit in the toilet? Is it just
apparently? Well, they're like
like
they're
tickle.
Very very flexible. They're very squishy. They're like, oh, hello, I'm going in here.
There's too many weird things that happen in New York City, like in your underground world. So
actually, there's not that. New York City, you do see some strange shit. When I used to drive a cab at night, I saw all sorts of wacky shit, like people running around naked in the street and stuff like that. But it's not really true. For the most part, you see a lot of the same shit, like schizophrenic people punching at the air. It's like it's that kind of thing. I mean, New York, in many ways, is a city that doesn't have a lot of weird city shit that other cities have. Like New York doesn't have alleys, for example. Most cities have alleys, and alleys are always a place where strange and criminal activity can take place. But
yeah, I used to have to walk through one when I lived in downtown LA. Like my parking lot was technically across the street from my building, and I could see literally from my apartment to where my car was across the street. But in order to cross the street, I had to go through the alley that smells like urine and poop, and rats run across my feet. The glories of living in downtown LA. But yeah, you see your local drug dealer, you're like, sup? And you just kind of keep walking, right? Like, you just
catch you later.
You're just like, what's up, man? And you just kind of mind your business. But that, but we always have the naked weirdos and drugged out crackheads, because I lived in downtown LA. That's normal. Sometimes
True.
they're running down the freeway naked. And they stop traffic. Just saying.
Well, in San Francisco, they have an organized naked bike ride, right? Beta breakers.
Well, my point is, in LA, all of our weird shit happens out in the open. I feel like the East Coast.
I like what Adrian says here. Coming from Europe, LA was so strange. New York was familiar. Huh. Yeah, New York is basically a European city. If you're from New York, or vice versa, you're not going to find, it's not going to be a big leap to go to like Berlin or Paris,
because
or
it's
Rome.
Like old. Is that why? Like,
it's just
old
very
European,
similar.
like,
it's like the infrastructure is very similar. It's like you get around in similar ways.
The trash goes to the front curb, though, out front of the pizza parlor. Like, that's
true in many European cities as well.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. LA is weird by comparison. San Francisco is very strange.
Well, that's just the people. So anyway, we should move on. But that's this manhole thing is a fucking weird story. And I remember I was feeding the baby when I saw the story of the woman falling through, because there was a guy that was an eyewitness, and he talked to the news, the local news, and he said that he happened to see this lady, and he said he saw her pull up, the door opened, he saw the top of her head for a moment, and then he said she just vanished. That she just
it's just the freak accident of where she parked her car.
I mean, my God.
Nobody really knows what happened to the manhole. I'm guessing, though, having lived in New York for a long time, that probably a heavy truck drove over it at an angle and then it flipped off and rolled away.
How does it come off?
I've seen that happen. Well, because the manhole cover sits, it's not latched in or anything.
Yeah, but
it sits by weight. It's heavy.
Isn't it like heavy and down, like a little depressed?
It's made of heavy metal, and there's like some holes in it. And the way they lift them is they put like a crowbar in there, and then they into the hole and lift them up, right?
But how does a truck pop it up?
But the point is, it's just resting there on top of a rim, right? So if it's not, like, if a very heavy truck passes over it at the right angle, you can see how like it would just like flip it over, right?
Really?
So
I've
that
never
happens
seen a
all
manhole
the time.
flipped over like that. I've seen people deliberately open it.
Don't forget, New Yorkers have also been electrocuted on manhole covers. They've stepped on the manhole cover and there was a loose wire, because under the city is hollow. There's all sorts of electrical
What is wrong with your guys' infrastructure?
And like, oh well, where do I start? We don't have enough time in this show, but suffice it to say that, like, for example, there are water pipes that break that are from the 1700s because they're clay and they've never been replaced. I mean, the city, they just basically respond to things as they break. They don't like check on old things and they don't say like, this thing's really old.
We should replace it.
It's good for now, but let's dig it up and replace it. They don't do that.
Let's get ahead of the problem.
No, that's not the New York.
Mayor Mamdani, hello,
that's
where
not
are
the
you?
New York way. We don't get ahead of anything.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we'll leave that there. Like, I just feel like if you're a homeowner, right, and Mayor Mamdani is technically the homeowner now, he needs to get ahead. Like, look around and be like, hey.
Oh, I agree.
Like,
try to
we might need a new roof.
Listen, another case in New York that just happened recently that affirmed this. As you know, I'm a bicyclist. And I've been ranting for years about how someone is going to need to die before the city will address the problem of people on high-speed electric bikes sharing the normal bike path with people who use pedal bikes. And I'm not talking about the pedal assist ones. I mean, like the people who are on like
full electric.
Full electric. They're going 30, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's crazy. And I kind of don't blame many of the people who do it. They're mostly food delivery guys who are just trying to make a living.
I get it.
But the point is, it's dangerous as shit because these are two types of vehicles that are incompatible in a narrow space. Anyway, it's totally unenforced. It's against the law, but the cops are never there. So a couple days ago, what fucking happened? Of course, there was a fatal collision between an e-bike and a regular bike on the bridge. Both people died. Both died. So, and like, oh, well, no, we're going to have the cops go and check it out. You know, like I said, you have to have a martyr for everything.
That's terrible.
I mean, anyone could see this was going to happen, but like you have
until
someone dies, nothing is done.
And let's not forget those e-bikes are very flammable because their batteries just go poof in your apartment and just charging
that's
them.
If you use the wrong charger. That's the cause of that.
There were several
If you use the charger that came with your bike,
that
will not happen. Yeah.
In New York City, we reported that when we were back on Sputnik, was the e-bikes were going poof and just like
e-bikes should probably up. Yeah, they are dangerous. Yeah, they probably shouldn't be in New York City apartment buildings. All right. Anyway, let's let me find my jaws. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go.
All right. From real murder, Ted, to metaphorical murder. I'm the murder queen today. I'm just talking about murder stories.
You're killing it.
That's right. This one, though, is about my previous employer, CBS, because there's like a civil war breaking out there over 60 Minutes. And so I'll just read the thing and then we'll discuss this because I've got a lot to say about this. It's very funny to me. So for nearly 6 decades, 60 Minutes has been the closest thing to television journalism that television journalism has to a sacred institution.
For sure.
Now it looks like the newsroom equivalent of a family Thanksgiving dinner where someone brought up politics after the second glass of wine. The latest drama erupted after CBS installed former New York Times tech columnist Nick Bilton as the new executive producer of 60 Minutes, a move that shocked many inside and legendary news magaziners because Bilton comes from outside of the show that's famously very insular in culture. Then more explosions. During Bilton's introductory staff meeting, the longtime veteran correspondent, Scott Pelley, apparently accused to her face the new boss.
No, she was not there.
I don't know. I heard that she was there.
Wasn't there. No, she wasn't there.
This article also said that accused Barry Weiss of murdering the show and blasted the other management for firing the show's top producers and correspondents as part of a sweeping overhaul. Allegedly, somebody has a voice recording of this, Ted.
Yeah.
Of Pelley, like having a Bill O'Reilly moment. And that Scott Pelley went on to bitch about Barry Weiss in front of all these people. And also, but to the face of the new guy, Nick Bilton, and said, and you, sir, first of all, he bitched about Barry Weiss saying that she has no business running a whole newsroom.
Well, that's true.
Much less a whole network, right? And secondly, he said, and then
at all.
No, none. And then he went over to Bilton and said, and you, sir, you have I think the quote was, you have a slim resume at best for this job.
That's also true.
Yikes, man!
I thought he was too generous to Bilton.
Oh yeah, I think that's very generous. Nick Bilton is a freaking tech reporter. What is he? He doesn't know anything about
60 Minutes. It's crazy.
60 Minutes, and
I mean,
it's
you and I are far more qualified than he is to do this, and we're not qualified at all to do this.
I would have the slim. You would have the slim,
very
slim resume. But Nick Bilton, who's never even worked in television, like Barry Weiss, okay. So he's blasting these people publicly, but allegedly the fight isn't just about Bilton. It's about whether one of America's most respected news programs is being modernized or dismantled. Supporters of the shakeup argue that legacy television in general is dying, which I can agree with.
That's true.
And 60 Minutes must evolve for a digital audience.
Also true.
Political interference, loss of editorial independence, and executives tinkering with one TV brand that
And
was
that's
so
also
widely
true.
trusted. Yeah, so it's complicated, this one. In other words, this isn't a personal dispute. It's a battle over who controls one of the most influential newsrooms in America. For decades, 60 Minutes built its reputation on exposing power struggles inside major institutions. So that's obviously ironic. Now the institution itself is under investigation. So, look, I get, I understand. I mean, we have gone on and on about Barry Weiss getting put in there by Larry Ellison or the Ellison family, right? We get it. We
As a
know
favor
why.
to Donald Trump.
Yeah, we get it. We know why. And of course, whenever a new boss comes in, she or he is going to bring in their own deputies, right? Like that's just how it works. When the new boss comes, they usually bring their own people, qualified or not, qualifications be damned. That's just how the world works. So that was to be expected. But Scott Pelley saying that Barry Weiss murdered 60 Minutes, I mean, but a part of me is kind of like, well, isn't that the point? So it can be reborn as something else, because maybe
No.
it's nobody's watching anything on CBS anymore. And so 60 Minutes, I don't remember what their numbers were, but they're dismal compared to, let's say, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's like I'm 62 and I'm way too young to be watching 60 Minutes.
Yeah, it's literally like
It's
90-year-olds.
so old. Yeah, it's the average age of a 60 Minutes viewer is deceased. I mean, no, I mean it's a serious look. Here's the thing, right? Two things can be true at once. 60 Minutes can be in deep trouble, and Barry Weiss can be a fucking disaster who makes a terrible situation even worse. Look, we've seen a lot of this kind of shit in journalism. Basically, it's like a 75-year-old CEO at BlackRock decided, like, oh, we need someone new and shiny who will assuage Trump, who lives in the digital space, who's been bugging me for the job, is a Zionist, and is going to and fix this. And she speaks the interwebs. Okay, so
Right.
basically, what did she have? Barry Weiss had a Substack site. Okay, that's what she
Right.
had. That's what the Free Press was. The Free Press is also
that she sold for $150 million.
So here, let me explain the main reason she was the wrong choice, and it's not her lack of qualifications. It's because the thing that 60 Minutes has is it has this reputation for probity and being super mainstream and very credible. Leans liberal in a sort of NPR way, but like NPR, has a reputation for telling the truth and not being not having its thumb on the scale and telling brazen lies. Barry Weiss is a right-wing Zionist fanatic who is totally, her brand is opinionated bullshit. Opinionated bullshit runs contrary to the brand, the one thing that 60 Minutes has for it is people are like, oh, that's serious. 60 Minutes is serious. Barry Weiss doesn't exude seriousness. So for that reason alone, she was a disastrous choice here. She's a hack, and she's not even running a particularly great Substack page. So, I mean, it's like you brought in someone who just couldn't do this. To say, like, what they needed was someone who they needed someone really like around 50 years old who grew up with the internet, is totally web native, and has some close like Zoomer and millennial lieutenants who can help with like the really granular shit, but basically also really understands the digital, it understands legacy media. Right. Which CBS is and which 60 Minutes is, and be able to bridge that gap. This calls for a young Gen Xer to take care of.
Right. Somebody around my age.
Correct. And it calls for someone and there's lots of people who've worked in that building, who they could have promoted to do this.
Yeah.
And so or they could have brought in someone who used to work for 2020. I mean, it's not that complicated. They just need to break 60 minutes down into clips
Right.
get a social media
Well,
strategy and
they have
create
a
and
long form
create.
journalism.
They should create a lot of site specific stories. So it's not just a weekly news magazine, and they also have like the Thursday thing they do. They should be banging out 2-3 minute clips all day long.
Well,
That's
Anderson
the
Cooper
key.
jumped ship. Ray, thank you for the donation. Ray says 60 Minutes needs to bring AI Andy Rooney to boost ratings.
Hey, don't make
Oh,
fun of Andy Rooney. Andy Rooney literally landed at Omaha Beach on D-Day and broadcast
wow.
live from D-Day with all the
Wow.
shit flying around him and people being killed. He was a badass motherfucker.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that
Ernie
about him.
Pyle was my favorite war correspondent.
Yeah, well, he's, of course, a god.
Yeah. Then he gets all the way through and then dies at the end there at Okinawa.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tragic, but not surprising.
Yeah. Well, so I agree that bringing in new blood could maybe
we have 5
help.
minutes. Better rock.
Yeah.
All right, let's move.
Could help, but maybe leave this one alone. It was, I think, in terms of management, it's too much too soon. That's all.
And for years, Democrats have been accused of bringing a strongly worded fact sheet to a knife fight. No more. The latest evidence comes from a bizarre social media brawl involving Stephen Miller and Texas Senate candidate James Tallarico and the DNC's official X account. Miller mocked Tallarico by falsely calling him the Democrats' first trans Senate candidate. Of course, that was not true. Democrats then came back and said the DNC's official account replied, "Shut up, you ugly fuck." Awesome. Democrats are apparently no longer when they go low, we go high. My only thing I would add to that is I'd be like, ugly bug-eyed fuck is what I would have said. The DNC, they never get anything completely right, but and also it should have been shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
shut up, you ugly fuck. Yeah. See, Ted, now you're doing the editor thing for tweets.
Yeah, I know.
For tweets.
It's true. But what does this mean? I mean, I wish the DNC would concentrate on staying out of the way of the progressive base, which would maybe allow them to become.
This is where the DNC is at. That's the whole point of this article. This is America's DNC. Forget that they've gone from the Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high, whatever. High and mighty,
that's
whatever.
Gay. Totally gay.
Yeah. That is some lame ass.
Or trans. Might be trans.
Super trans. I find it hilarious, though, that that Stephen Miller just randomly was like, yeah, James Tallarico's trans. Like, that's
James Tallarico. I'm looking him up. I don't think he even looks like he's unusual looking.
He looks like a doofusy. He looks like a doofus, but that's like everybody that comes out of the DNC these days, right? Like, kind of a doofus, kind of like David Hogg, right? Like, kind of a
James
doofus.
Tallarico, I guess he is funny looking. He kind of looks Mormon-y.
No, he looks like a doofus. Like I said, like it's like the geek that every dad.
I need to refer him to my barber, who could definitely help him.
Any dad would rest at ease letting their daughter go on a date with this boy.
If she wasn't a virgin before, she might be a virgin after.
Let's just say that. But having it come from Stephen Miller is rich because, no one's going to accuse Stephen Miller of being a trans, but, sometimes the DNC nails it, Ted. They could have tweeted it better, but he is an ugly fuck. That is true.
He is an ugly dude. Isn't he married to an actual female?
Yes. They're a Zionist couple together, happily Zionist.
She's relatively attractive.
Yeah, she's not bad looking. But that happens all the time.
She's like a prettier version of the governor of Arkansas, Huckabee. like sort of like, like a brown-haired moo cow type lady, but like a
Oh
little bit,
no, she's
but
not. Look,
prettier.
for Stephen Miller, that's his wife. I forget her name. Um,
Katie.
Katie Miller. She's a catch. She's like
Oh
like
yeah, that's true.
if we're judging
Well, she
like
has a
on a
vagina and
classroom
everything.
curve,
Yeah.
if we're going on a classroom curve, right?
Oh
Then
yeah.
she's like a 10 and he's like a
He
3,
must be he must
2,
have like mad pussy game, because I mean he is
or
an
maybe he's really
ugly
laying the pipe,
dude.
Ted. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it could be.
We don't know, but we know from here up when he's on TV, you're like, "Oh." And then he just emanates he oozes this ugly vibe about him. Like he's just slimy, right? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
he's like literally the worst human being.
He's
Yeah.
just like slimy and just like a yucky human being. Like you have bad
It's also
vibes,
so
bad
perverse because
juju.
he's like central casting for like SS war criminal.
Yes, which is weird because he's Jewish though.
Yeah, it's so
I mean, I
weird.
don't know.
So weird.
But yeah, Adrian says Stephen Miller is punching up. Yeah, that's true. He's punching up his weight class for sure because Katie Miller's way much more attractive than him. But
So
whatever.
just a little housekeeping for people watching on Rumble. This show is going to get rated into Putin Bot Gaming, which is Robbie's gaming channel. After
Oh, is that
this,
coming up next? All right.
that's coming up now.
All right.
We
We'll leave
will
that
be
there.
back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Adios, amigos. Thank you.
Bye. All right,
Bye,
here
friends.
we go. Where do I hit this thing? Oh, here we go.